Well, we're home already. So
All right, cool. We'll give it like one more minute.
How do you remind people in the group? Do you like send like a ping, be like, hey,
posting.
can I post something?
I already posted this morning, so it's midday, so I don't expect.
So, guys,
Over here.
gonna upload live later on.
Yay.
Past two.
What's up, Ella?
Oh,
Now we are hosting our first lunch experience online. Let's go. Say what's up, everyone. No,
Yeah, don't worry about it for this go around. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm recording right now and I'll just post it back in the group. But yeah, let's kick this off. So first off, thank you everyone for joining the group that Hamza put together. It's pretty awesome to be here right now. Hamza, can you lower that volume because I can hear you down? I can hear my voice downstairs.
all right, bro. All
Yeah, so for Ella, Brandon, and Chandler, I spoke to Chandler last week, but my name is CJ Finley, and I'm the founder of Thrive on Life. Long story short, this brand was created because sadly, my wife's dad died in a spin class. He was really in really good shape and he passed away of a heart attack suddenly. And I wanted to create something that essentially inspired people to make every heartbeat count. And I was an engineer at the time and I was going to work and really just not happy with where my life was going. I was making really good money coming out of college. And that kind of forced me to do a lot of introspection and look into myself and have self-awareness and realize who did I want to be, who did I want to hang around, and what did I want to do on this world with every single day to like leave my mark and help people and have a good legacy. And that kind of led me into the creative world where I became an entrepreneur and started learning really quickly. I bought my Nikon D5300 to start taking photos of me doing fitness and entrepreneurship and all these other things. And social media started taking off and I started connecting with a lot of people that I consider my best friends today, all through social media and being creative. And these people inspire me on a daily basis. And I realized really quickly that I was getting ahead in life because I was connected to a lot of badass people. Flash forward probably 5 or 6 years now, and I'm fortunate to have been connected with a lot of people here in Austin, and we have this beautiful space. So for those that aren't in Austin, if you ever come to Austin, you're more than welcome to hang out. We have a podcast studio right here, a meeting area where I'm in right now, a kitchen, and then a gym downstairs. So this group, this idea kind of spun up because I'm at the position in my life right now where I want to give back even more. I've been blessed, like I said, with being surrounded by people that have helped me get to a level, and I want to kind of continue that train. And that's where we thought of this idea with COVID and everything happening as a creative. My whole game plan for this summer got kind of uprooted because I was going to host events and I'll do all these things. And then we started thinking about, well, all these other creatives out there are probably pretty lonely right now, like at home and not really knowing where they're going to go. John, who's on our team, does a lot of restaurant work. So restaurants are like really hurt right now. So how do we help creatives in that space? And then the one thing I've always leaned on is let's just get as many people in a group as possible and just try and provide value and see what happens from that. I'm very, very much influenced by connecting other people. I love to connect other people and see problems get solved. And that's where we are today. So I wanted to just kind of give you the backstory of like the overarching brand. But I'll let Hamza run with the rest of this because he's the man kind of behind the creative group. I'm more of a consultant entrepreneur, and the media is something I've had to learn versus Hamza approached me last year with a camera in his hand at an entrepreneurial event, and he kind of like had some ideas. So I'll let him run with kind of the vision of all of this. And then at the end of the day, if there's anything I can do for anybody in this group, I talked to Chandler last week about how to raise rates and stuff like that. I've been in this game for a while now. So I'm always looking to lend a hand and just help people that maybe can not deal with the struggles that I've had to deal with over the years. So again, first off, thank you, Chandler, Ella, Brandon, Courtney, and everyone sitting downstairs for showing up today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you firstly for everyone joining. Oh snap, more people are joining. Tess is joining, but yeah, so the vision behind this group, like I told you all, is to be a support system from the get-go for every creative to ultimately, we're all on the same journey, which is to attain a lifestyle where we're creating full-time, right? But the journey to that goal can get super lonely. And the blueprint is not super clear and no one has done it. And there is no blueprint because it's so different for each individual person. So, but what we wanted to combat is the loneliness and the lack of direction and the lack of clarity. So the only way to combat that is if we rally together as creatives and, you know, work together towards that goal. But a little bit about myself. I don't want to make this like a cheesy ass icebreaker in school, but a little bit about myself. I love business strategy, but I am a creative at heart. So utilizing my into the game with camera and photo, I am building a creative business with my friends here and CJ upstairs. And our ultimate mission is to help other creatives get to the lifestyle that they ultimately want to get to. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. Jasmine, John, if you guys want to start, and then I want to hear from Ella, Chandler, Brandon, Tess, Courtney. Let's get it. Jasmine.
Well,
yeah.
So what am I saying? I'm saying who I am as a, like, why did I start this, or?
Yeah, a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, my name is Jasmine. I am currently 25 years old. I'm in Austin, Texas here. And so I started freelancing as a videographer, photographer, like almost 2 years ago now. And ever since I started freelancing, even before I started freelancing, just the journey for myself as a creative in general, just learning how to do video, learning how to do photo. I never really had many people around me who were creatives themselves. And I also never really had anyone around me who had experience in what they were doing or who had expertise in areas that I did not have expertise in. So I found myself trying to learn everything by myself and juggle 20 million things at once. And I am terrible at that. So, you know, I was able to get really good creatively and really good with a camera in my hands, but I wasn't able to do the same when it came to like business stuff or finance stuff or clients or rates or anything of that nature. I was still kind of like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. So that's why I really was super excited to be a part of this group and help build this group, because I have been super, super lost in the past. And I also feel like there's not enough female voices in the community. And I feel like that's really important for me too, to see other women in this group is like something that I really, really value. So that's, you know, a little, yeah, that's like half the group is women. So that's something that I feel like I never see in the creative community. So that makes me really happy. And that's why I'm, you know, want to be a part of building this, because I want to shed more light, be a source of, you know, of help to people, but also learn from other people who are also going through the same thing. So
Hells yeah.
That was really long.
Fire emoji.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to throw a question in the mix. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
But John didn't even
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna throw that in there. So you didn't answer it, but he's gonna start. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, and what does creative success mean to you?
That's a great question. Well, Jasmine and I are very similar. A little bit about me for those who don't know. My name is John. I am a creator here in Austin, Texas. Been here for 3 years. And similar to Jasmine, like actually Jasmine and I kind of bonded over the common struggles of creators, where you find yourself kind of stuck on that rat wheel of going really fast and grinding, but not really getting anywhere. And we were just trying to figure out how we can actually progress and establish like real long-term success. And we quickly realized that you go faster together and further together. which is the value that we get from community and just a network of people who you trust and who can help you and who you can also help. And so it just worked out perfectly when, you know, we met Hamza and CJ, and they're very systems oriented. And I mean, Jasmine and I can create really awesome content, but without those business systems in place, you can only get so far. Which is why with all the people in this group, ranging from all different sorts of like creative talents and backgrounds and business talents and skill sets, there's just no limit to how far we can get together. So that's the central theme, is like strive together, thrive together. Like we really see the value in that.
Yeah.
And we want to help execute and facilitate that.
Yeah, quick thing, like before we move on, like one of the best business strategies I've learned isn't about cutting costs or driving up revenue. It's about the power of community. And it took a while for me to grasp it, but yeah, community is the key, guys. So yeah, let's jump, let's move forward. Who wants to go first? Tess, Ella, Chandler, Brandon, who's down?
Ooh, they're all hesitating. Test.
Tess.
Yeah, I was like, I'll
Get it.
go. I was like, I don't mind going first. I'm never afraid of that. Can you guys hear me though?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yeah, I have my earpods on, but they're not connected to anything, so I don't know why my life is like that. But anyways, I'm Tess, and I'm 29, and I'm a graphic designer here in Austin, Texas, with a specialization in branding and identity design. And I've been in Austin for 4 years now. Let's see, I went to Purchase College just outside of New York. I have a BFA in graphic design, and have been kind of like in and out of the field for the past 10 years. So yeah, that's who I am, what I do. I just started my own company, so I'm kind of branching off on my own. I've been in freelance for a while, but I'm like definitely taking it really seriously now, and kind of, rather than it being a hobby or side income, now it's like the full-time gig. So yeah, thanks guys.
That's what's up. Wait. So where do you see yourself in 10 years? And
Oh gosh. CJ knows it. He's like, she hates this question. I don't know. I mean, we were just looking at real estate in Mexico this morning. So who knows? 10 years, I guess, 10 years, it'd be nice if our country was stabilized again. Maybe I owned a horse. All my dogs are happy and my family's happy.
That's what's up.
Right?
I got a better question. Rather than 10 years, it's what is one thing that you're struggling with right now, and one person that you want to get connected to?
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's switch the game.
That's a better one. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
You're kinda
CJ always one up in me. Okay.
Bro, I've been doing these things for a year. The 10 years thing, man, I don't know where the hell I'm going to be in 10 years. Like, none of us do. We have
CJ
dreams, right?
True.
But yeah, there's one power of community. You mentioned Hamza is great. And that's where this community, like, if there's one thing you're struggling with, whether it's like, I can't do my taxes, and maybe one of us knows an accountant, or one person you get connected with. We have, I mean, there's 3 people in that one window, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on here. So maybe one of us knows somebody that you can connect with. So not to put Tess on the spot because we just changed the question, but one thing maybe that you're not so hot at or struggling with right now, an equation that you're trying to solve, and then maybe one person, if you had to think about connecting with, who would that be?
Sure. You can put me on the spot. That's fine. Let's see. So I guess in building my community, I'm a designer and I do web design, but I do not develop or do coding. And I do know one coder here in Austin, but I'm really looking to kind of expand my network in terms of coding developers, just because it's such a broad field, and you know, you find limitations in what coders can and can't do. So if anyone knows coders, developers, I think they'd be cool additions to this creative group as well. So
Yes.
yeah.
We got one on the call.
You got one on the call, see?
We got one on the call.
Nice.
I'm studying right now in school.
Oh, very cool.
Right now, and then I have teachers. One teacher who's a front-end web developer who I'm going to connect with at school. I could connect you and him maybe if you would like.
Yeah. I'd love to have them in my toolbox for sure.
Boom, magic.
There you go.
All right, Brandon, you're up next, brother.
Okay. I apologize that I'm driving, guys. A meeting went a little bit longer than I thought.
Eyes on the road.
And then I think my name's coming up as iPhone Dizzle. That's my iPhone name, so I apologize. My name's Brandon, not iPhone Dizzle. But yeah, I was introduced to this group from Jake. I went to school with him in Point Loma, and this community is unbelievable. Like, just thank you guys for existing. I'm happy I found you guys. I played ice hockey for the first 15 years of my life. September 2018, I got 2 abrupt concussions. I had to quit. I honestly felt like I was restarting my life all over from like ground zero. So I had to sit at home with myself and my thoughts and really figure out, all right, what am I going to do? I understood that I have a lot of energy. I just need to figure out what to put it in. So I got really into mindfulness, awareness, kind of like optimizing your thoughts, because everything starts from the internal, kind of your drive. So I've been really into like yoga and mindfulness, so also right now I'm going to school for software engineering. So I'm very new to that. I'm really interested in web development, particularly front end, because I just like the artistic side. Like I literally just like last week bought presets and I'm trying to download all these apps. I want to start recording more videos and posting more photos. So I want to be in that creative space of coding where I can create some portfolio websites eventually and just ask my friends what they would like and help everyone out from that point on. So that's a little bit about me.
Dope. What's one thing that you're struggling with right now that you would like to work on?
That's a good. I was thinking of that when you guys said that. Right now, honestly, on the side of that too, me and 3 friends, we are working on a Instagram page called Small Talk. We want to normalize difficult conversations for kids our age, and we want to leverage the different demographics we can appeal to. So I used to play ice hockey, and I'm in software engineering now. My 3 other friends, they're girls that go to school at UBC. So one of them's into photography, videography. Another one's she runs track there. Another one's very into people and spirituality. So we want to get into that space of being very good at presenting yourself very genuinely, like transparently. Like we're going to open up with like, what's one thing you never want to be called and struggle with? Like, so right now I would say like finding someone like, honestly, like The Rock, where he's just a master at just presenting himself like on social media and everywhere he is. And then attracting that love, because like love yourself first, and then that will attract the love of others. So maybe connecting with someone who's like a social media animal who can present themselves transparently and attract a lot of love.
I have an idea. We can chat offline though. Leading some type of like just group call like this, where you open a space for people to just do that and you start with a topic. I've done that in the past and it works extremely well. So I'd love to talk with you about, and it's one thing that I'm trying to drive through our brand as well, is giving the space for a lot of diversity and open conversation around tough topics. I'm a huge believer in that. So would love to maybe, if you haven't started the Instagram account, how do we just get a Zoom call going through our group here, and then everyone goes and follows that account and shouts you out and helps you like build steady legs on it. Again, we can chat offline, but it's something I've done in the past and it works extremely well. So I'm down to collab on that way.
Yeah, also like just to add something real quick, what CJ said 100%, and also in terms of like reaching out to like prominent people, that I find that thrilling, but many people put those people on a pedestal and feel very intimidated to reach out to them. But like I feel like I have kind of not mastered, but hit on a couple tactics that work. So I would love to talk about that more with you, brother. So yeah, man, that's dope as hell. That's dope as hell. Thank you for that.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. Who's next? Ella's smiling, so I guess Ella's gonna go.
Okay, I can go. Hi everybody, I'm Ella. I'm 19. I go to art school in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in DC right now with my family. But yeah, I'm usually in Georgia. I run track and field there. And I am into photography, like editorial style, kind of fashion, like magazine type of things. And just like a lot of you, I've kind of been like a little bit alone in this like creative process, because I'm like ambitious enough where I push myself, and I just love like going out and shooting and like challenging myself. But like I have like one thing I've been struggling with is marketing, because I've like shot so much and like gotten a lot better, but I don't really know how to put myself out there in like a meaningful way. So yeah.
Got you. We're gonna hop on that call later on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, run her through Mike and Joe's problem solution results
Yeah.
marketing tactics. I think that'll bring a lot of clarity to her.
Yeah. We also hit like a light bulb moment in our team meeting this morning that I'll share with you later on. But that's super dope. Wait, did you go to SCAD? Do you go to SCAD?
No, I don't go to SCAD.
Oh, okay.
Chandler's like, sad
It's all
Wait,
good.
what is SCAD?
It's a college.
It's
Okay.
a very prestigious art.
I'm like, am I out of the loop?
Yeah, they have a campus in Atlanta, and I went to SCAD, so
Oh, nice.
SCAD, but no.
That's dope. All right, Chandler, you wanna go?
Sure. About myself. I am a graphic designer, but I have my formal training in photography from SCAD. I currently work as a freelancer, but I'm also kind of a generalist. I started out when I graduated college in a multimedia type position, and so I was doing photo, graphic design, web design. I was doing some video work, and was really doing like a little bit of everything. And that's kind of what transitioned me out of photography into design. But I still enjoy doing a lot of different things. So I'm really glad that we don't have to answer the 10-year question anymore, because I don't even know what I want to do tomorrow. So something I struggle with. What don't I struggle with? It's been really crazy, man. Like between like going from a really crazy position that was awful, and then like getting thrown into freelance and trying to find a full-time job, and then COVID happened. It just like everything's just kind of feels like it's all over the place. I guess definitely like handling like the business sides of things, and I feel like I'm still trying to figure out even if I want to remain in freelance or if I do want to go into a full-time job. So I guess trying to navigate that, and I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. So
We're all there.
anybody who wants to give me life advice, I guess, would be helpful. I'm just kind of like taking it day by day, trying to see where doors open and what, where it leads, whether that continues to be freelance. And if it does continue to be freelance, I really like need to get a better understanding of how to be my own business. And if that turns into a full-time job, then
Have you considered partnering with somebody? So it would be kind of a hybrid of your situation. So instead of the thing that creatives run into is they have to be the salesman, the creative, the accountant, like they're doing it all, right? But imagine if you just want to create, how do you partner with somebody that kind of has that business sense? And again, there's no right answer, but I'm just asking, have you thought about it? If you created a brand where then you partner with somebody on the business end, and rather than just being freelance, it's kind of like this brand that you're running through. And that's the easiest way to kind of market, because that person's attached to the brand as well. So if you have a co-founder that's attached to that brand, they're out selling the brand, you're out doing the work for the brand, and it's kind of like a happy medium. And that's kind of like how we operate here, where it's like Jasmine and John are absolute savages at content creation and telling stories. And then Hamza and I kind of operate as nurturing the community, growing the community, understanding what problems are out there that we need to solve. So this morning we were literally having a meeting on like, what are the biggest problems here in Austin, Texas, and how do we solve them with content? Well, Jasmine and John will shoot the content. Hamza and I's job is to scour LinkedIn, find people that we can help solve problems for, and then we kind of link those two together. So that's where you don't have to answer this question, but have you thought of that realm rather than I just have to be a freelancer or I have to go corporate? Because there's a hybrid to that.
No, I haven't thought about it in the way that you're talking about. I mean, I've considered doing, you can be like, almost like have a talent scout or like be a part of an agency. I've thought of it from kind of that angle, but not in terms of like partnering with another individual to run essentially a small business. So I'd be happy to talk more about that with you.
Also, like, just to throw out like a really guerrilla tactic, like I'm just like making a list of guerrilla tactics in my mind over the past few weeks. So as a freelancer, one way to source leads and generate leads is if you go on Upwork and Fiverr and make an account, and then you make a client account and then hire a virtual assistant to basically go like and send proposal to all like the other job postings on Fiverr and Upwork. So basically you have someone in Philippines or like in Asia like, that you're paying like $5 an hour to basically send out your proposals, connect with people, and get you out there on the radar. That could be like a very good lead. So just something to throw out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I haven't had a lot of time to even like figure it out because I just kind of got thrown into it after COVID. So
there's a book I can recommend to you. I'll link it in the chat. It's by this design studio called Hoodspa, which is like a really great studio out of San Diego. And they have a book. They also have an online course that I was thinking of doing, but like I'm not quite, I was like, once you read the book, it almost seems like redundant to do the course, I guess. But it's called Freelance and Business and Stuff. And it just like outlines basically all parts of like design or I guess it could flow into all creative parts of like freelance that you need to have in check. So from like finance to legal and all that jazz. So it'll give you at least a good idea if you're like, I don't want to do any of this, like maybe, you know, a different route other than freelance is good for you, or if some of it's like, yeah, this is manageable, I can do this, like it helps like just get all your balances in check kind of thing. So
yeah, I definitely will check it out. Thank you.
Of course.
I think the best thing is to just partner with someone. As someone who kind of operates similarly to Chandler, like I'm like, I can't even, the more I learn about stuff that goes into like freelance business, I'm like, dude, I can't even like keep track of my email inbox. Like the fact that like I can't even, it's not that I can't, it's just, it's not my strength. It's like, and I admit that it never will be my strength to do certain things that go into like freelance business stuff. So for me, the most helpful thing has been to just like find a literal human being right here next to me who was good at that. And I'm just like, I don't like this, I'm not good at it, and I just pass it to Hamza and he does that stuff, and then I just do what I'm good at. I like the hybrid model that CJ's talking about. Like you don't have to go full freelancer, like full on your own, and you don't have to go full corporate, but just trying to like make a little hybrid situation is like really working out for me. So
such like a growth tactic that I don't feel like many people talk about. Like even for me, right? I mean, I'm 19 years old too. I love building businesses. I love business strategy. But at the point that I am at now, it would have taken.
He's 19.
You're 19?
Yeah.
Oh my God. If I was building a social media platform at 19, I'm almost 25. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, sorry. Continue. So proud of you. Good job. Keep it up.
Appreciate that. No, but I'm like, like I was saying, like you can get to where you want to go like really fast. Like if I didn't hit up CJ last year, it would have probably taken me all of college, like 3 to 4 years to get to where I'm at. Basically, if you attach yourself to someone that complements your skills, you can learn twice as fast or 10x as fast. So, I mean, that goes for me and CJ as well. Like we like creating content, but we rather be doing like the systems, finances, and like the visionary stuff behind building the business, and have like legends like these two helping us with the creative direction. So just to throw that in there.
Yeah, I think me and Jasmine actually are very similar. And like you were talking about like wanting to connect with somebody, I think like these two things are kind of tied together. Like I deal with ADHD and depression, which I think plays into a lot as to why I struggle with all these extra things. And so I'm like really fascinated by Brandon and his like mindfulness and wellness. And I feel like that is really important. Even like having confidence in your skill sets, and like that's a big part of marketing yourself as a freelancer, and be like, yeah, I can do this project, even though it's something I've never done before. And being able to manage all of that, like I really thrive with like structure but that's like really difficult to do when you like mentally sometimes feel like you're all over the place. So
Yeah, and for me, to piggyback off that, a lot of it is, especially in the creative community, you're comparing your day one to other people's day 1000. So like when you look at Hamza and you say, oh, he's 19, well, you haven't seen like the people that he's been able to sit down with. Like last summer when he was an intern, like within 3 months, he completely transformed his skills because he was sitting around other founders who are running $1 million companies. So it's like, you can't get yourself in the trap of, I just started, so I should be like her, him, or whatever. You have to think, what am I really good at right now? And that's okay. And then how do I surround myself with other people who are better than me and not be scared of that? Because when you find really good people, like I want to transfer my skills to as many people as possible because there's someone transferring their skills to me. So one of the things that I like to do in my consulting is to tell people, I don't care whether you're 19 or whether you're 60, you always have people you can learn from and people you can give back to. So even at 25 right now and where you're at in your business, my challenge to you is like the skills that you've learned, how do you go sit with a 22-year-old who just wants to get to your point because they're looking up to you like, oh my God, I would love to just even be a freelancer because they're working part-time at, Arby's or something. And they look up to you like you look up to somebody else. And we tend to forget that. And that's where something that I worked with Hamza on is like, look, you're 19, but there's so many people you can give to. Don't label yourself as I'm only 19. I can do this. And for other creatives out there, I've struggled with it in the past because I always like, I'm an engineer. I'm like, I'm not a creative. How am I lucky enough to sit around Jasmine and John and like create with them versus I was like, wait a second, I'm really good at this one area and I can help them. And that's where I kind of sit. So on top of like what I just said, remind yourself like what you're really good at, like what your zone of genius is. And then don't try to, what I call it is like, don't roll the ball uphill in other areas. So like, I know my grammar isn't good. So when I write, I don't literally think like, oh my God, this is going to be the final piece. I'll sit with somebody who's my wife who will literally grill the shit out of my writing. Right. But I don't hold that expectation on me to like try and learn grammar the rest of my life. It's just not something that I'm really that good at. I love math and science. So, but I do love to just write and get thoughts out. So for yourself is unless you really love the thing, like don't hold the expectation that you have to be the best at everything. It's like, if you love this one part of graphic design or you're a generalist like I am, so it's a little bit more tough, but even in some areas, like don't hold that expectation. Just say, okay, I'm not going to roll the ball uphill. How do I roll it downhill? And the way you can't roll a ball downhill, it just rolls. So if you partner with other people, immediately you're just going to feel better and do better because you're just letting the ball roll downhill rather than trying to keep pushing things uphill that you're just never going to be that thrilled by. And sorry, that was a little bit long-winded, but I know your pain.
my intro, guys. Also, point out, how come this is a lunch and learn and I'm the only one with lunch? Hey,
I had my smoothie. I couldn't hold up. Ashani's eating too, so you're gonna go up next, Ashani. Hold up, you're gonna have to move though so people could see you.
Yeah.
You're like a shadow.
There you go.
Hi guys, I'm Ishani. I'm one of the interns for Thrive. Really excited actually, because I'm actually going to school for engineering like Brandon is.
Let's go.
Yep, and Brandon and I have connected, so I'm really hyped to like connect with you more, Brandon. But I love that I'm working here with CJ because he's kind of let me dip my toes into UI UX and look more in design because I'm super interested in it. But because of school, I really haven't gotten the opportunity to like fully immerse myself in that. So I'm working on meshing the like coding side that I really love and that I've been learning all my life with kind of the more design aspects, which is really cool. With you, Chandler and Tess, like I'm really excited to hear from you guys and how you guys develop that as well. So becoming more of a designer that way. So honestly, that's all. I'm really excited to learn from Jasmine, John, Hamza, and all of you guys. So super hyped.
Hold up, show them your website real quick.
Oh, chill. Okay.
And your brand.
Can you, whoever's the host, I don't know who it is. Can you,
Or just send the link in the chat.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, it's not like live yet, but I'll give you guys the password to get a sneak peek as well. I've been developing a brand. The password's below. It's Bring Joy. And I've been going through that process. It's been really fun. My whole thing is that I want to be an ultra learner, which means that I have a ton of varied interests. I don't want to just label myself as like an engineering student. And I don't want to just label myself as a designer or a college student. I constantly want to be learning from people like you guys, and be leveling up. So Brandon, you talked about mindfulness. I've been like reading about that, and I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it as well. So
Yeah.
my whole thing is I want to make learning fun again, and I want to learn from other people. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Oh, what did he start doing?
CJ, oh, okay.
Aw, that's so cute.
I'm gonna need some tips from all the designers in this group.
I love where it's going though, and I like the colors that you're using.
Thanks so much. Yeah, Erin actually, CJ's wife gave me such a great idea. She said if there's like a picture that evokes this like emotion that you love, to just go off of that. So that's what I tried to do.
I love it.
And how long did that take you to spin up?
Less than a week.
So
I think
maybe like
4 or 5 days. Planning to launch it tonight, so fingers crossed.
All right, last but not least, I guess it's Charlotte.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Hey, so I'm 25 years old. I went to school back in Boston. I went to Fitchburg State. It was a big film school. And I kind of went there because I wanted to be like I knew I wanted to be in video, film, like I wanted to be an editor. I've been editing since I was like 12 years old. So it's just like always been a passion of mine. So, but while I was in school, I feel like I didn't really like take advantage of like what was available to me, even though it was like a really big film school. I graduated and then I got like a typical 9-to-5 job at a wedding company, where I would just like edit 10 to 15 minute wedding videos, and it just wasn't very fulfilling. That's where I met Jasmine. We were coworkers. And yeah, it just wasn't really fulfilling. And so, you know, I feel like me and Jasmine kind of bonded over how much we really didn't like that atmosphere. And I learned a lot from her. And she actually, like at that point, I hadn't even picked up a camera. Like, I don't know, I think I was just so focused on wanting to edit. So after realizing it wasn't my, passion to be sitting in an office 9 to 5, just sitting in a dark room, I learned to pick up a camera and, actually go out there and shoot. And from there, I realized, I think I like to be like in society, like interacting with other people, and also, but I also wanted to like be able to utilize my editing passion. So right now I'm a freelance videographer, editor. I moved down to Austin right before COVID, which was pretty much the worst time for that to happen. But I'm really excited to, be a part of this because it's really been very difficult to meet people at a time like this where, everything's shut down, and I was ready to like go out and like, I had signed up to be an audio editor at South by, and that didn't happen. So I'm excited to, learn from you guys and, be part of this team. But yeah.
Nice. What's one thing she's struggling with though? She didn't say what are you struggling
Oh,
with?
one thing I'm struggling with. Well, I'm struggling with like putting myself out there more. I can be kind of shy, so I think.
So currently Charlotte is like helping us with BTS content, but every day I have to do it when I'm doing an amateur to hop on in front of the camera at least once a day to combat that. So are you ready for that, Charlotte?
Said hop on camera once a day?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
That's a big step.
That's happening.
All right.
Awesome. So thank you guys for sharing a little bit about yourself. It's been awesome to kind of hear everything that you're going through, and just to see this come to light, because it was literally only an idea like 2 weeks ago, I think. So we've been hustling to kind of fill the group and just get connected with people and learn more about what everybody's doing and where they're at in their lives, and then how we can be of support. I'll run through a little bit about where we're going from here. Every week we're going to host a lunch and learn on topics that Hamza, he put a poll in there. So next week is going to be finances, and it's something I think no matter how much you grow in business and freelancing creative, the creative world, you're going to have to deal with financial problems, because as soon as, even if you do make a lot of money, it's like, where does that money go? What do I invest it in? Do I invest it in people or products or services or technology? So essentially we're going to start with that one, run through that. And we're always about getting feedback and learning what is most valuable for you guys. Hamza, can you put your thing, or Charlotte, can you put yours on mute? There you go. Yeah, so what is most valuable to you guys? That's my utmost biggest concern with Thrive on Life as a brand, is just understanding our followers, our consumers, our clients, and what problems that they're actually having, so that through our content and through our strategies, it's actually solving problems and helping you guys progress your lives forward. Because that's my mission in life, is to help other people fuel their passion and make money doing what they love to do. Because again, I sat at a desk and was rotting away, and I just believe that we weren't put on this earth to do that. But it also, I know how much work it does take to kind of do what you love. So the easiest step that we can do is learn more about what are those problems and what kind of content do you guys like. And I'm very much open to constructive criticism, so do not hold back. So we're going to be following up with a little survey on what did you guys like about this? What ideas do you think we have moving forward? And then secondly, I'm on this first one, talking a lot on this first one, but that's not going to be the future. I always like to pass the torch and then build other people up. So I want other people that will host the lunch and learns. So like Chandler, you're in graphic design. Tess, you're in design. Shani, you build a website for college students. Whatever you guys want to kind of talk about. Ideally, I see in the future this becoming more of a space where it's like you have an idea that you want to get out into the world, and this is a space that's inclusive where you can test the idea in here and nobody's going to like rip you to shreds. Because I've been with the Sharks before, and it's not necessarily fun, versus having a community of people that you can present something to, get engaged, and then we're going to give you constructive feedback so that you can go put it out into the world and feel confident, kind of just like what we were talking about. So the common theme that I kind of saw here today was learning how to put yourself out there more. And I struggled with this for years. And one of the things that, again, helps the most is just a community where when you put something else out there, you can just get that constructive feedback, gain that confidence, and then also have the network to help you in areas that you're weak in. So I'll stop rambling. That's kind of like where the future is going with this. We'll be sending out a survey again for you guys to kind of give us feedback. And then if you guys have any ideas of what you want to run with in the future, please let us know. We're all ears, and we're going to be running with this thing the last half of the year and making the best of the situation that we're in right now, all of us.
Yeah, just to go off of CJ's point, like feedback is critical. I kind of want to ask like a double-edged question, so we can poke on like what. So my question is, what drew you into this group, and what made you, actually hit join, and what do you expect from this group, and like what are your expectations, or where would you like this to go? Anyone?
Better just choose someone.
I think the best thing that I've found to be about this platform is that I can talk about things that I wouldn't be able to talk about on any other social media platform. I think that's what makes this most useful. Something like, I posted the other day, like how to approach the conversation of raising your rate with existing clients in particular. If I were to post that on my Facebook, I have like a bunch of like yahoos from Southeast Georgia and like family members on my Facebook. And then like on my Instagram, like it's just, or my LinkedIn, like I don't want my clients to see that I'm posting like, hey, how do I raise my rate? You know, like there is a good place to do that. And if you don't know somebody personally, then like, where do you have that conversation? Even things that, and this is like something I just thought of that might be worth exploring, and maybe there's a place for it already, I just don't know about, is gaining feedback on work. If that was like a topic avenue that could be added to where it's like, hey, I've been working on this, like I have no idea, like, you know, whether you're like stuck on a like mental block and you don't know like what to do with it next, or you just need some direction because you're like conflicted on what to do with this project. I know that I would benefit from having a space that I could receive constructive feedback from people who know what they're talking about, and isn't just like my roommate who, you know, does finance for a living. It's like, yeah, it looks great, you know, something, you know, a situation like that. Thank God I live with creatives and they can help me. But I think that those things would be most useful about this platform, because I can't do that really anywhere else.
Got you. Thank you. And just to hit on that point, we were actually like planning on creating these like creative feedback sessions. So Chandler, like just feel free to post anytime. And I mean, like the first one could be like design feedback sessions. We could get like everyone in here, Tess, Ashani, Brandon, like run through UI, UX, graphic design, whatever it may be. That could be the first one. But yeah, thank you so much. Like that's a really good idea. Yeah, how about Ella? You're on mute.
Sorry. I joined for the sense of community. I think that's what attracted me the most, just because I'm kind of on my own in the creative world, like especially living with my family over COVID, like none of them are really creative or could give me feedback. So similar to you guys, like just in a place where like being creative is common and we can all like understand each other.
Got you. Is that like, what is that one thing that you would like to see feature in the group as well, like the feedback sessions?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Got you. Dope city. Tess?
I'm in a couple like Facebook groups, or what are they called? Like the Mighty Networks for not really creatives, but small business. Freelancing Females is a good one on Facebook, but I love a place for creative or constructive feedback and creative feedback. That's awesome. I love that for sure. We could even do like a weekly share or a monthly share of something you're working on too. Especially I mean, I'm just talking design too, but I'm like, I know it gets, if you're not experienced in certain areas of like, okay, producing an actual package or something, it can definitely get confusing, or print guidelines versus digital guidelines. It can get kind of heady. So it's cool to have a place where we could put resources like that. It's funny, I was talking in the Freelancing Females guide that we wish we could create a blacklist of just like people who are terrible clients to creatives, because they definitely exist. And I don't know about a blacklist, but it's definitely something to like how to educate consumers on like why creative matters and like why you shouldn't try to steamroll through a creative for your business or your brand. So yeah, it's definitely something that happens a lot in freelance and just in small business. I think in general is like you get people who think they know more, you know, just don't understand what your business is, and you're like, I want to blacklist you because you're an asshole. But so yeah, that's definitely something, and just having a community where you can talk about those kind of people, and like maybe even, you know, if someone's like, hey, I just picked up this client, and like, has anyone heard of him? And be like, yeah, that person's terrible. He never paid me. Or when he finally did, he paid me like months later or whatever it may be. So yeah.
That's the filmmaking that I didn't think of.
It happens.
It's like basically learning educating consumers, and then also obviously the creatives on what are red flags. That's
Right.
like the word for it. Like, what are the red flags to look for in people that you're working with or collaborating with before you actually get engaged with them? And man, I've been burned numerous times. So I love that topic, and I think that definitely should be either a talk, and then everyone's talking about feedback. I love that. I was already planning on kind of like what we do overall in the group is on Thrive Thursdays is like promote yourself. So everyone here that's struggling to kind of put themselves out there more in this group, it's like whatever you're working on, whether you create a new Instagram or a new website or whatever, Thursdays, I'm going to literally post in there, like, today's the day you promote yourself, like, and don't unapologetically promote yourself, because then you're going to put yourself out there. And we're at 70 people now. I won't be shy. Like, the goal is to get this group to over 1,000 like-minded creatives within the next 6 months. So we're going to have people in here that are going to see your work, share your work, give you feedback, and then hopefully solve some of the problems that you're dealing with.
Heck yeah. Brandon?
First of all, Hamza, you're super woke. The thing you said where it's like don't focus on like the overall picture, like focus on individual, like business, like relationships with people. Like I read recently that like if you approach work like, I'm not working hard because I don't want to get fired. I'm working hard because I want each person coming into my store to have a great experience. Like, that's going to build like a deep relationship with that one person. And that's going to shoot and just like, they're going to be like, inadvertently, you're going to create like a minion for your company. Cause I'm like, dude, Hamza was so dope to me. Like, come check this out. And I'm going to like outsource for you. So like, you're hiring people, but you're like necessarily, there's no overhead. So when I first came, like Jake introduced me to Thrive. I looked at the page, CJ, and like, I loved it. Like, this is really cool. Like, I want to get more into it. And then when I got in the group, Hamza, when you reached out, you can like feel the depth, like the aura and the energy of this company. And that, like, that's what got me. I didn't necessarily go crazy deep into Thrive, like when I signed up on Mighty Networks, but when you reached out and like, I could feel that, like, better use of word for connection, like understanding of a story of like, I could understand that, like, you sit in your room at night and you probably toss and turn thinking like how, like, you're just focusing on like the right things of like, build a business. How can I be better? How can I reach more people? Like, get underneath the surface level. So I kind of didn't know where I was going with that, but like the feedback of like what got me into here was you could feel that connection. It's that like, in this community this is only the second community I've been a part of. Like, you know, the Third Door book, that book's incredible. Alex Benayan, he had like 40 mentoring sessions in a row. And that community was incredible. Like, everyone was just like this, like, hey, I'm a potato farmer and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, can anyone help me? And then someone else is thinking like, yo, dude, I farm potatoes too. And like, we're all like connecting about that stuff. Like, these kind of groups, like, I can't imagine if the business world was like collaborate instead of compete. Like we would just be exploding the earth. Like, imagine if every nation was like collaborating how to save resources, like how much more we thrive than like competing against each other. So this kind of group, like, keep firing with that, Hamza and CJ, and like everyone else here. Like, I'm excited to get going with this, but that was what kept me going into this group for sure.
I love what you just said there. And so we have the creative group, and one of the things I do on the side is I want to build a coaching group, because for coaches, it is a very lonely world because they feel like they can't even talk to other coaches because they're fighting for clients and stuff like this. But one of the things I teach is like, other coaches should be your best friends. Like, because literally physically, how many people can I coach in a day anyway? Like, you can't, like, you have to have that abundance mindset. There's 7 billion people on this earth, and that other coach is going to understand the struggles and pains that you go through. So they're actually going to become your best friend. So I wrote that down here. Feeling the depth, that is not like a word I've heard in a long time. So I appreciate you saying that, because that's literally what we go for here is, I mean, I wrote on our story earlier today, do less more. I mean, do less better. And what I mean by that is just like, we're very in tune with when someone reaches out, send video messages, like make them feel a part of this and things like that. So it's nice to hear that the hard work of our strategy and then action is being seen. So thank you, Brandon.
Of course, Thank you guys.
That means more than you know, brother. But like, what's one thing like that we can keep doing to feed that and like make this journey easier for you or like more enjoyable? Yeah, what's one thing that we can do?
Oh, sorry, I think you said one. Sorry. One thing, I want to get to know you guys, honestly, understand your story. it's hard that because there's so many questions you want to ask people. Like it's the vague, obvious cliche of like, what's the biggest lesson you've learned? Like what mistake would you never want to make again? But honestly, I'm very new with all of this social media stuff. Like I just started firing and posting more. People are reaching out like that I haven't talked to in forever, and I love that. And then I'm getting a lot of shit from it from all my boys I played hockey with. They're like, dude, you're getting so soft. But I'm like, the people that I'm connecting with, I love it. So maybe like,
Don't listen to them.
no, yeah,
I'm an
love
ex-athlete, so I've heard
Yeah.
it too. And I was an engineer. Why are you leaving engineering to be a personal trainer and
Yeah.
whatever? I don't label myself as anything. So like,
it.
I'll grill into you. Like, I mean, F those guys. Like your real friends will stay and they'll watch. But
Mhm.
one thing that I always focus on is like the people that hate on you the most start following you, and then they start asking you how you did it. It's
Mhm.
literally happened to me
Yep.
year over year because when I first did this, they're like, you're going to quit this high salary job to literally just post on Instagram and connect with people. And I was like, no, but kind of like, I don't know how to
Yeah,
explain this.
100%.
And then years later, they're like, dude, how did you get paid to coach on the top of a skyscraper for Vice Media? And I'm just like, well, you didn't listen to me then. So why now, right?
Mhm.
So you're in the beginning of that. So just keep plowing through, dude. Like yoga mindset, like
Mhm.
you're opening yourself up to an amazing community.
Thank you. Yeah. It's only crazy until it works. That's what they say.
There's a business for everything. So
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just kind of, you guys' content's great, Hamza. Like I like your page a lot too, and just kind of putting more stuff out, honestly. But it's kind of odd question because I want to figure out how to like make it my own. I can't win the game by playing Hamza's game. I got to play Brandon's cards.
True.
Yeah, just talk more. But like honestly, yeah, I appreciate every second you guys give me because I know you guys are very busy. So
Thank you, man. And one thing, just keep on going, man. Like you're doing it right. It's just a matter of time.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm a stickler for time and not wasting anybody's time. We're about at time now. So thank you guys for showing up. Again, we're going to be sending out that survey to y'all. It won't be too long. So if you could just take 5 minutes and fill that out. And then any of ideas as you're digesting, and we just had this first call, please, we built this space for crazy ideas. So as Brandon was saying, like, we're big believers that if you're not thinking crazy, it's not big enough. That bores me. So someone else mentioned ADHD. I think it was Chandler. That's me. Like I couldn't work in the corporate world because they're sitting here complaining about Excel sheets. And I'm just like, how do we build a new education system? How do we build these platforms? Like I'm just thinking that next level. So this group is exactly for that. So if you have really big ideas and you want to, like Ishani ran her first mastermind, she never even heard of what a mastermind was, and within 2 weeks of being here she already ran her first one. So if it's from running a mastermind to starting a group to getting your content out there in the eyes of more people because you're feeling overwhelmed by putting yourself out there, you got a whole legion of people that can help you get that stuff out there, get noticed. And then it doesn't matter. Like we're helping Ishani on LinkedIn get connected. I've been on Instagram for years. And then in reality, we built communities of hundreds of people. So if you want to build, Brandon, I love what you said about just taking a little bit and then using your own juice and your own sauce. That's perfect. That's the mentality you want to be in, is just, but know that like, if you want to build your own mindset community, know that you can lean on us to help you get the legs on that, and then spread what I like to think of it as like kindlewood. We're the kindlewood to get the fire started, and then you're off to the races after that. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for showing up. Please connect with us on Instagram so we can support your stuff. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out to me or Hamza, CJ Finley at thriveonlife.com or Hamza at thriveonlife.com. And we'd love to help you on everything that you're working on.
Before we part, John, Jasmine, do y'all have any parting words?
Just excited.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I'm just glad to have the people here. Again, I'm also glad that like more than half of the group was female. That just makes me so happy. And that there's other like-minded people in here that struggle with the same shit that I do, because everyone's like, oh my God, your life looks so fun and perfect on Instagram. And I'm like, dude, I literally have no idea what I'm doing like half the time that I'm doing it. So that's why I'm excited to do this, and I'm happy that you guys actually came. You know what I mean? It makes me happy.
Hell yeah. Ella, I know you just got into, like, you love fashion and editorial type shoots. If you want to, like, you just did your first paid gig too, you told me, like, if you want to learn how to shoot, any tips that you need, like, these two are your people. Yeah, just feel free to reach out to them at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, this is great.
Thank you guys.
Have a great day, everyone.
Nice meeting
Keep
you
crushing
guys.
your week.
Oh yeah.